Hello, everyone. Welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and just fascinating side of the interwebs. Sometimes a little weird as well. I am your tech leader, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, the PlayStation 5 Pro is a super-powered $700 gaming console for gamers who don't want to buy a PC. Kia has unveiled two new EV designs, including this awesome-looking modular van. Happening in this week's What The? A new world record for the fastest speed dragged behind a motorcycle, now clocking in at almost 160 miles an hour. And of course, we'll wrap up the program with this week's Moment of Joy. All that and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update. Next. It's pretty easy to tell if the PlayStation 5 Pro is for you if you have no problems with the PS5's existing performance, if you balk at the $700 price tag, or here in Australia almost $1,200, or if you don't have a modern 4K TV. Well, you can just ignore the console entirely. But if you've been annoyed by losing graphical fidelity in 60 frame per second mode, or just want to avoid 30 FPS gaming entirely, it could be the console you've been waiting for. There's no doubt that the PS5 Pro is a niche product, not an upgrade targeted to all PS5 owners. It's meant for the Sony fanboys who want the absolute best PlayStation experience and who will never upgrade to a gaming PC. After all, those rigs typically run well over $1,000 for similar graphical performance, and they also involve all the complexities of Windows, like driver issues, OS instability, and juggling multiple game storefronts. Sure, if you're eager to see what Spider-Man 2 looks like in 60 frames per second with extra graphical flourishes, it may be worth stepping up to the PS5 Pro, and if you haven't jumped on the PS5 bandwagon yet, it's a solid option if you just want a no-compromise experience. To echo many reviews out on the internet, you might not need it, but you're definitely gonna want it. While the PS5 Pro certainly lives up to the hype, at least based on most of the testing available, it's also a bittersweet product. When the PS5 debuted in 2020, Sony touted it as a powerful console that could finally give players a taste of PC gaming with features like ray tracing while also delivering 4K playback. It really couldn't do that. The reality was far more complicated. While some games ran at 4K, they were typically limited to 30 frames per second in fidelity mode. If you wanted smoother 60 frames per second gaming, you typically had to give up ray tracing and or graphical quality for the performance mode. But of course, the same was true for the Xbox Series X. Both Sony and Microsoft were limited by hardware and the economics of console gaming. But now, Sony is finally able to deliver on the initial promise of the PS5 by swapping in a modern GPU and pushing for a higher price tag, a much higher price tag if you're in other parts of the world. The PS5 Pro is certainly great news for anyone who desires more performance, but I wouldn't blame some owners for being a bit irritated about the price. The PS5 Pro is the most powerful gaming console ever made, but you'll pay dearly for its performance. And then you're gonna have to buy extras like a disk drive and even a stand? What? Thanks to a faster GPU, it finally delivers 4K 60 frames per second performance, which is a very good thing. Of course, you get a dash of ray tracing features in there as well. The pros on the console are a faster GPU, PSSR AI upscaling works very well, New ray tracing capabilities are included. You can slightly upgrade PS4 titles on the fly, which is cool, and it comes with a 2 terabyte hard drive or SSD versus the 1 terabyte in the stock standard PS5. However, there's some cons to the PS5 Pro as well. That is, it's expensive, quite a bit so. There's no disk drive, and not all games have Pro enhancements. In fact, at launch, I think they're saying about 50 games or so are going to be graphically enhanced with your PS5 Pro, and everything else is pretty much going to run the same. However, I'm a big PSVR 2 proponent, and I have a feeling that thing's going to run a heck of a lot better. What you don't get with the PS5 Pro, oddly enough, is a disk drive. You'll have to pony up another $80 to add on Sony's disk drive, which was released alongside the PS5 Slim last year. Or just rely entirely on digital downloads. With the 2 terabyte SSD, plus room for an additional drive, the PS5 Pro certainly has enough room to hold on to a decent library of games. No Man's Sky launched way back in 2016. Since then, they've been steadily updating it, and now the developer is rolling out cross-saves and cross-plays to all of the platforms so fans can pick up from wherever they left off, even if they switch devices. How awesome is that? Hello Games said adding the ability to transfer saves has been especially difficult for its team, since No Man's Sky players can spend thousands of hours exploring worlds and building elaborate bases. It likened cross-saves to moving houses. The longer people have lived there, the more complicated that move is going to be. The company said it has been introducing the technology to the game little by little over the past 6 months to make it possible to launch the feature. Players can link their accounts right now through the game's official cross-save page, but only a subset of users will see the option to select saves from multiple devices on the in-game save screen. The feature will be available to all players over the coming weeks, they say. In addition to giving players the ability to play the same game across platforms, Hello Games is now rolling out the enhanced version of No Man's Sky for the PS5 Pro as well. The console's AI-powered tech, called the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, upscales the game to 4K at 60 frames per second, though players can choose to explore worlds in 8K resolution at 30 frames per second instead. This is incredible. This enhanced version also comes with improved lighting, ultra-quality reflections, and higher quality ambient occlusion in all modes. All those features are making their way to the PSVR 2 headset right now as well.